Fernando Gonzalez does not want to give up at the end of the day, but you will give up. You will. Now, I'm not embarrassed to say it. Yeah, I did contact ICE on you. I contacted ICE. I contacted special law enforcement officers. I contacted FBI. I contacted code enforcement. I contacted a lot of agencies. And why, Fernando, did we contact these agencies? Because you're ripping off America. That's what you're doing. You're basically you've done so much dirt in this country. It is not even funny on how much dirt you have done. Number one, you are not documented. And we found that you're not documented because you made the mistake by telling us you weren't documented. Because you sat there and said, he's trying to deport me. No, Jamie, if you had paperwork, all you had to do was say, hey, I got paperwork. But either way, if you had paperwork or not, you're still going to jail. You broke laws on United States soil. You're still going to jail. What makes you so special than any other person living here in the United States? What makes you so special that you don't have to abide by the laws of the land that we have to abide by? So you're saying at the end of the day that you should have the right to go out and commit crimes and you shouldn't be prosecuted for it. That's what you're saying. If you think that posting of my picture at the end of the day, which again, you're going to be in jail pretty soon. I'm not worried about that. Pretty soon, you're about to get invaded pretty soon. So that's going to be gone. You're going to be taken care of. But if you think at the end of the day that I want to sit there and say, well, you have a right to come to my country at the end of the day and do what you want to do, you don't have that right. You don't have a right to rip off American companies. You don't have a right to touch people's copyrights without their permission. You don't have a right to dox addresses. You don't have a right to do any of that stuff. Rip off your customer base, steal from them, sell them nothing but house paint at the end of the day. Right now, you're on your eBay account trying to rip people off on a free screen paint. The cinema mix, or whatever that color is called, the Metallica mix, is free. And you're trying to charge people $65 for something that's free. Literally sent the stuff to your front door and you sent it back to us. That says a lot right there. Literally got caught on camera with a Cinemax mix matching house paint. Several of your products match house paint. But you sit there and you act like, oh, nothing's going wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. And here we got evidence of you in a storage unit with crates and crates and crates of stolen merchandise from American companies. You're a thief. You're a professional counterfeiter now. That's what you are now. And that is a federal crime. That's what that is. And I'm pretty sure everybody who basically runs a company at the end of the day does not share your point of view. That the fact that you're going to come in here and rip my company off, my company off by trying to steal our products, touch my copyrights at the end of the day, literally stated he'll do what he wants to do with our copyrights, and then come in here and rip off American companies. That's Transformers in there right there. And there's a lot more than that. Look, there's Spider-Man. What about Stan Lee? You don't care about Stan Lee. You just rip off anybody you want. Transformers and everything. You printed all that up. Got that stored in. And then you're running multiple machines in your apartment, which is considered to be, number one, a fire hazard. Number two, the fumes that come off those things are extremely dangerous. You got to be in an open environment to use those things. You're not in that. You don't have the room and capacity to run those machines. And second, Jamie, you don't have a license to sell in the state of California, nor are you supposed to use that apartment complex as a business, because you can't do that, especially with the kind of chemicals you're running. You're running chemicals in a place where you have other people living at. That's equivalent to a meth lab. And then with the amount of chemicals you have in there, of course, to paint all that stuff up. And I know you ain't putting it in the storage unit. I know there's not chemicals in the storage unit, because you know that's against the law. So you've broken every rule you could possibly think of. Right there it says, I found one where you printed up 1,000 masks. These are Jason masks. This is also to trademark and copyrighted and patent material that you are touching. You've got no right to print anything up that involves anything involving Jason, the mask, it's similarly what it looks like, whatever. And you said you got an order for 1,000. So that means you printed 1,000 with all those chemicals, whatever it is, that seeped in that apartment. So when code enforcers get there, at the end of the day, they're going to go through that apartment. And they're going to test the fabric, they know how to go through everything. The fabric, the carpet, the walls, all that, because that residue is going to be all in there. And they're going to know exactly at the end of the day what you've been doing in that unit. You got multiple forms of charges coming your way. You got multiple agencies coming your way, and ICE is one of them. Because you know why, Jamie? What did you do? You committed crimes on United States soil. That's what you did. And that's why you'll be transferred out of the country. You're trying to lump yourself in with law-abiding citizens, people or Mexicans or any other race that are here that are not doing anything wrong. They're not out counterfeiting. They're not out ripping off people's copyrights. They're not out breaking the law. They're out there working hard to try to make a better life for their families. That's something you didn't do. So how dare you try to lump yourself in with them at the end of the day? Because you're not anywhere close to what they're trying to do. You came here and you broke the law. So as an American citizen, if I break the law, if I go up and get it the next day and I rob a bank, I'm going to jail. That's what's going to happen to me. You feel that you get up the next day, you rob a bank, nothing's going to happen to you? But you get the same thing any of us get if we basically get caught doing the same thing you just did. So what makes you so special? So Fernando, you're leaving the country. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to be charged with massive crimes, especially counterfeiting. You've also put other people's lives in danger by running a business like a printing press company, a 3D printing press, or it's a 3D printing machine that basically involves very hazardous materials that can cause people cancer. And you ran that in that little apartment with very little ventilation, not thinking about anybody else. You put your family at danger, you put your pets at danger, you put yourself at danger, and you put those around you at danger and didn't care. Some of the items he stole. There's the little factory he had running in his apartment. Now, you tell me that you can do this at the end of the day. Let me know who told you that you can do this in your apartment. Oh, that's Power Ranger right there you ripped off. Tell me who said that you could do this. Do me a big favor. How about you go down to Baldwin Park, go down to Code Enforcers, which is license inspection, and share this with them. Give them this information, share it with them, and see what happens. And while you're at it, make sure you go to the local police department in Baldwin Park and say, hey, look, I've been printing out licensing items from my 3D printing unit, and I've been selling them at Comic-Con and other places, and I have a storage unit full of these counterfeit items. See what happens. See how fast they lock you up. Oh, you can't go there, can you? How about you take a camera and prove me wrong? Take a camera down there, record the whole entire thing, walk into a police station, tell them what you'll be doing. So if you can't do that, that means at the end of the day, you broke the law. So when they get there, you can explain to them your situation. And I bet you 100% that you end up in a car with handcuffs on. I bet you. I bet you they shut your apartment down, and I bet you they condemn it unsafe. I bet you. So screaming I'm racist at the end of the day, not going to help you at all, period. Guy ripped off American companies. Guy there to steal from American companies. And then sit there and sell and pocket it. Don't even tell them what they're doing at the end of the day. Matter of fact, contact these companies and let them know exactly what you've been doing. Show me some documents that you got proof and evidence for me to do this at the end of the day. You ain't got none of that at all, period. So guess what, Jamie? You're going to go to jail just like anybody else in America. If they're out counterfeiting pocketbooks or whatever it may be at the end of the day, you're going to go to jail for it. And guess where you're going? You're going to jail. But you're going to a far worse place than that. You're going to be shipped out of the country. And you're going someplace extremely, extremely awful. And that's what it is. You're scared. You're lashing out. That's what you're doing. Now, you're calling me racist. Is that going to hurt my company? No, it's not going to hurt my company. My business is contracted. It's not going to hurt my company. My investors watch this. They do. And they see at the end of the day that they don't like you, Jamie. They don't like you at all. And they're going to reach out to those agencies also, too, and contact them and put their complaint in. Because they run businesses at the end of the day. And they don't appreciate people like you ripping off companies. Anybody who runs a business doesn't like you, Jamie, at the end of the day. And probably some other people don't like you either. Because you rip off people's businesses. That's what you do. You steal from Americans. You steal from us. Now, is that racist? Did I have to make that up? No, it's right there. We're all watching it. Let's waltz on in there and talk about printing. Self-snitching at its highest level. So, good luck with all the beatings and torture you're going to go through, because you're going to go through a lot. And you try that nonsense with them over there and see what happens. You carry that same attitude here in America. You carry it over there and see what happens to you over there. Go get big and bad with one of them over there and see what happens. You deserve everything that's coming to you. Look at that. Just ripping off customers, companies left and right. Selling items you're not supposed to be selling. Against the law. And they got a nerve to put down blessed. You're about as far as you can possibly be from a Christian man, Jamie. You still rob, lie, and everything else under the book. Got a nerve to put down blessed. Enjoy what little life you have left, Jamie, on this planet. Because when they ship you over there, your entire world's going to completely change. Just ripping off companies. Your world is coming down, buddy. It's coming down. Now, with the evidence I just required from your site, I'm going to take that evidence and I'm going to submit that to the people who basically gave me their personal emails. If anything else comes up, send it over. And I plan to send it over. All of it. And this is going to show that you're operating a full couple of 3D printers in there. Your storage unit, which you have stock full of unlicensed material. And if you go in, Jamie, and you remove anything goes missing, anything whatsoever, everything's already been reported. So they already know it's there. That's going to show that you tried to hide it, because if it's not there and it's showing it was there, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because it's going to try, at the end of the day, you tried to hide something. And why would you try to hide something at the end of the day if you never had it? If you didn't do anything wrong, why would you try to hide something? See, Jamie, you got it mixed up. You can't hide something when somebody already saw it, because they already saw it. They can't unsee it. It's right there. So that's not going to work at the end of the day. You're done. When I say you were leaving the country, you're leaving the country. So, if you try to delete anything goes missing, whatever, they have copies of everything. My buddy went out and tracked down every single company of every place that you stole from, and they were submitted emails. Your address, your date of birth, where you live at, the whole 9 yards, everything about you. So those companies can begin the process of filing multiple class action lawsuits against you. What else is this? So much stuff he stole at the end of the day. Look at this. So when you sit there and post, I contacted ICE. Yeah, I contacted ICE. Yes, I did. Everybody knows. I showed you the forms. I contacted ICE. Matter of fact, twice I contacted them. I'm about to contact them third time tomorrow. Because this whole counterfeiting ring we have now, all that's got to be updated now. I got to contact and let them know you're running a counterfeiting ring. So I'll be contacting them tomorrow. And I contacted FBI, and I contacted the what is it? The state of town. That's what they call. We got his LLC from the state of California. We contacted them. I contacted the Texas units in Baldwin Park. I got a hold of them, and I got a hold of code enforcement. And I'm going to contact zoning next tomorrow, because you're running a business. And last I checked, that apartment complex isn't designed for industrial commercial use. On top of that, you're operating without a business license. So that's another problem you have right there. So you want to scream racist at the end of the day. Let's talk about those other things you don't have that you're doing that you're not supposed to be doing. Let me see. What is the hazard of running multiple 3D printing machines in your apartment? Running several. Whew, this is bad. You're gonna have so many people are going to be on that unit. Oh, they're going to bring a hazmatic unit through that place. They're going to have to. So basically, this stuff can get into your bloodstream. There's a whole lot of stuff that can go wrong with these machines. That's why they have to be in well-ventilated areas. So let's see, several emissions depend on if I'm going to use the machine, the material, the ABS, nylon releases harmful emissions, and man, yeah, they're going to have to hazmat that. They're going to shut that apartment down. You have enhancement of fire risk. The chance of a 3D printer fire can increase with the number of machines in operation. So you run the risk of burning the building down. You want to see it for yourself? It's right there. Code enforcers, when they come through, they'll explain it to them. Actually, you're gonna, the apartment's going to be unfit now. Look at the damage. VOC. These chemical compounds can cause irritation to your eyes, nose, throat, and as well as headaches, nauseating, and in some cases damage to organs like your liver or kidneys. I don't think you're going to live that long, buddy, because you're around a lot of that stuff at the end of the day. And you had 3 of those machines in there. You were pumping out 1,000 units at one point. So mind you, you're operating these machines, and they're looking at the people that are in the apartment around you that you're actually producing this little factory in there, and you got other people living around you. So you don't have no respect for anyone's kids at the end of the day that could be over top you or someone's pets or whatever. And God knows your pets are in this mess. Let's see, UFPs. These tiny particles can penetrate deep into the lungs. Oh, I know about lung disease today, Jamie. I know how little tiny spores can basically come right up your nose and down your throat, and they can attach themselves to your lungs. And this down through time can cause severe damage. Now, let me explain something to you. Where you're going at the end of the day, you're not getting medical treatment. They don't get medical treatment. So, you have any idea what it's like to have something like an elephant sitting on your chest? You're about to go through something at the end of the day. And keep in mind, people in the apartment that were around there, like his kids that were in there, pre-adults were in there, and his wife is probably going to suffer some really bad stuff. These tiny particles can penetrate deep into the lungs. Let's see, enter into the bloodstream, impacting respiratory. Oh, gee whiz, man. This sounds a lot like, yeah, you're going to have a lot of problems. This is what you call, what they call, something where you feel fine now, but later in life, you're going to go through hell. So this increases air running multiple machines, increasing unifying. Yeah, they're gonna shut your apartment down. They gotta clean it. If he's burning that many machines in there, 3 machines in there, mind you, you burn that stuff, it gives up that little smoke, that odor. Yeah, and even if it's inside of a unit, if it's closed in, it still can seep through. You're not supposed to use these things in an apartment that small, and he's running multiple machines. For fire hazard includes runways, ferry, electrical issues like loose wiring, overheating, clogged nozzles, untethered printing sessions. Jeez, you can burn the building down. And on top of it, it's got all those air, all sand cans in there and chemicals and stuff, and then pretty much everything is saturated with the chemical in there. So yeah, anything lights up in that place is gone. You can burn that building down to the ground. Potential machinery injury. For parts, high components, and risk of injuries. Multiple printers can likely generate a large volume of plastic waste. This is what they're concerned about. So let's see, increased waste production. Let's see, running multiple printers can likely generate a large volume of plastic waste, including failed prints and supporting it. So that box he had with all that leftover, yeah, that stuff right there, how is he getting rid of that stuff? I know you're not throwing that stuff in the trash. Disposal, recycle, most 3D printers recycle through standard multiple programs. Yeah, I knew that from the door. Not recycle through standard multiple programs. So this is what I found out when I got a license, because we work with paints. We had to prove that the paints were water-based. because the sanitary department had to know that if we got a factory or warehouse, or we had that whatever we were dropping in those dumpsters, we had to make sure that they weren't harmful chemicals. We weren't pouring chemicals down drains and stuff like that. That's part of the license. You have to call sanitation. That's why you have to have a license, Fernando. So, since you don't, chances are you're probably dumping this stuff in a waste, in a trash can, or outside, or one of the dumpsters outside the apartment. That's what you're doing. I guarantee that's what you are. Because you can't drive this to a place and drop this off, and I'll tell you why. You need a license for that. So you can't go into one of the places and drop off hazmat material, because you have to have a license. They have to have your business information and all that if we can drop it off. That's why a lot of the pharmaceutical companies in the very early 80s was dropping stuff off into the ocean. Number one, they were saving money, because at the end of the day, you got to pay a fee to drop that stuff off. So that stuff you have right there, you would have to pay a fee, and you would have to have all this information and licensing, and your company had to license, you have to have the whole entire thing legit to show that basically your company is what it is before you can drop anything off. And you weren't dropping anything off. I guarantee you threw all that stuff in the trash. I guarantee you did. So that's even bigger charges are going to come against you, because that involves the environment, the ecosystem that you were destroying because you were throwing this stuff into the trash. Yeah, so how American are you feeling right now? You're anyone nowhere near this, man. And you want to call me racist because I'm reporting you at the end of the day? Darn right I'm reporting you. If they had somebody higher than ICE, I would find them too. So not only did you come into the country and trying to destroy the ecosystem, but you're throwing out hazardous materials in the trash. You run the risk of burning a building down to the ground. On top of that, with the stuff that's already in there from the stuff you're printing, God knows how much of that stuff is saturated into the walls, the floors, and furniture, and clothing, and other people's bodies at the end of the day. Because I said at the end of the day, it can go into your lungs, it can go down to your bloodstream. All that crazy stuff at the end of the day. You know what happens, Fernando, if you take a cannon, spray cannon, and you spray your walls with it? You ever turn around and see this light dusting on everything? That means it becomes airborne. And that's what happens when you basically use those printers. That stuff in the air becomes airborne. That's not meant to be used in your home in a certain way. You're supposed to have this in a form of like a warehouse, garage, something like that to use it in an area like that. Something you can scrub the whole entire place down. You need something like that. But the problem is you ran this in your apartment. Bigger problem is your apartment's not zoned for that type of kind of work. Want my buddy to contact you? My buddy actually works in a business. He owns a business like that. He runs a professional business in 3D printing. All his machines have to be registered because of the capacity of stuff he puts out. Just to make sure he's not printing any ghost guns or any kind of licensed material. He has to go through all that. He has to fill out tons and tons and tons of documents, especially with environmentalists and an ecosystem and all that stuff that people come in, and he has to fill out all these documents, and have to do routine checks, and have to do inspections on his unit all the time. Do you have that? Do you have any units coming over doing inspections on your unit? Of course you don't, because you're running a legal operation out of an apartment. Then you got those aerosol cans in there, all those other chemicals. How are you disposing these aerosol cans? I know you're not dropping these things in dumpsters. These things are basically pressurized. So you run the risk of killing a sanitation worker, because these things are sitting in there with all this other mess in there, and they're pretty much taking in all this heat. So you put people that are coming to pick up the trash, you put their lives at danger too. You're a terrorist. You're almost up there on the terrorist status. You are. So, tomorrow, finding out what I know now, I'm going to contact some bigger people at the end of the day and get this nonsense taken care of. Because the longer that nonsense goes on in that apartment, the higher the risk goes that someone's going to get killed in that place. Because Fernando doesn't worry about that. All Fernando thinks about is himself. Gee whiz Louise, look at this right here. Look at this. There's so much stuff in here. Ventilations. These machines, this is what they should do. And I'm sorry. They need to pass a law that you have to have a background check before you can get one of those machines. You have to show these machines can only be used in industrial areas where they're designed to be used at. Because these things are dangerous. Let me see. Ventilation. Oh, exhaust fumes, particular particle outdoors. Feasible. This is a mess. Yeah, he's been running this thing here for a long time, and what he's been printing out, this is a mess. That's why we showed the woman who was actually on the case for this, when the boxes and boxes of not only the masks that he's ripping off, but how many he's printing out. Fire safeties. Man, this is a mess. Printers are highly major monitor printers closely. Printers overnight and keep it. Fire extinguisher. You literally have to keep a fire extinguisher and smoke detector next to these things. And you see how he's running them. He's running them non-stop. Yeah. Code enforcer is going to go through the place and shut it down. His apartment's going to get marked. They're going to mark the apartment. They're going to put in big old orange stickers on that door. And you know what they're going to do after that? They're going to contact your landlord. If he don't want to be found, he's going to get found now. They're going to contact and ask him a lot of questions. What are you doing in there? Number one, that's what they're going to ask for. Number two, they're going to ask at the end of the day, did you know all this was going on in that apartment? And mind you, we ain't done yet. You got my copyrights, charges, all that stuff going to pile on top of that too. Because you did touch my copyrights, didn't you, Fernando, without permission, right? All right, then, guess what? You're a part of that. So as of, your life is over. I told you at the end of the day, stop listening to the demon, didn't I? Look what he set you up for. Because I'm pretty sure he told you, go do this and go do that and so and so and so. And talk on, when you're walking through that whatchamacallit, the devil was all in you. You're all puffed up with pride, talking about your storage unit and how many items you printed out and all that. At the end of the day, he had you showing off and showboating you, didn't he? And now he's going to sit there and he's going to watch you hang. And he's going to laugh through the whole entire thing. He'll go back to his demons at the end of the day and say, hey, look what I got him to do. I got to go farther than that. I have to go farther than anybody. They're probably making bets on how far they can get you to go. And I guarantee you, the entire time, God's telling you, back it down, and you didn't listen, did you? And you had a nerve to put up there, blessed. How are you blessed on ripping off American companies? Oh, you're blessed because you stole from Stan Lee, too? You didn't just rip off copyrights, Jamie. You ripped off copyrights, trademarks, and patents. Those things have patents on them. You know why they put patents on them, Jamie? To keep people like you from touching them. That's why they're on there. And God knows if somebody didn't go and stop him, how far he would have went with this. He might have blew up that apartment and killed a whole bunch of people, including himself. Or burned that place to the ground. So you put all those people in that unit at danger because you want to run a business in there. This is why you have to have background checks on everybody. This is why a shame about it. It's messed up. He messed it up for everybody. He did. He messed it up for everybody. That man took a big chance moving you in there. A big chance. And they're going to penalize. He's going to go through a lot. He's going to lose everything. He might lose the building because of this. See, the problem is, Jamie, and the fact your LLC is sitting on this building too, that don't make it even better. It's even worse now. But the problem is, Jamie, if it was anybody else, it was any other tenant, like anyone like us, right? We were in there, right? He's not responsible for that in any way whatsoever. He wouldn't be responsible for it. But because he let you in there, he is now responsible. And if he made a fake lease, he's in a lot of trouble. And the attractive thing about it, Jamie, he gave you an opportunity. You know what's even worse, Fernando? Job you worked at, that printing plant over there, guess what? You're going to contact them too. And they're going to go over there and they're going to hit that place. They're going to shut that place down. That man's going to lose his business because of you. So Jamie feels at the end of the day that I'm racist because I went and contacted ICE. And the reason why ICE was contacted, Jamie, you know why? Because we were explained by a lawyer that if we had taken you to court and spent the money for all this court costs and everything, and you weren't actually legit like you were supposed to be, they would have snatched you right from the door. The minute you walked in that courtroom, they'd have got you. And they would have transported you to God knows where. And guess what? The money I would have spent for the lawyers, the money I would have spent for basically the court case and all that stuff, the filing fees and all that stuff, I'd have lost all that money. So we had to find out whether or not you were legit or not. And all I said on camera was, I have to do this because we have to make sure that he's legit. Now I said I prefer, and you can go back and check the videos, I said I prefer that you be a United States citizen because then we can get you. Because I knew with that copyrights, I could get you a good maybe 80, 90 years easily. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to see you in court, squirming and carrying on and the whole 9 yards. But I won't get that opportunity. But where you're going at the end of the day, I'm good. I'm 100% good on it. I ain't got no problem with it. They can take it. I'm good. So, you went on camera. What did you say? You said he's trying to deport me for being given an honest review. It wasn't about the review, Jamie. It was about the fact you were attacking my copyrights, your doxing addresses, you're attacking my family. That's what that was about. You told on yourself. Because anyone who's documented would have never said that. Anyone who's documented would have said, oh, yeah, good luck trying to deport me. I got freaking paperwork, blah, 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 blah. And they would have showed their paperwork. They definitely would have showed it in a hot second. You didn't. You disappeared for 11 days. I counted. It's on the account. Everything's documented. I record everything. So a person who disappears for 11 days and then comes back and starts screaming, oh, this, that, racist, and this, that, and the other, you don't have paperwork. And that explains a lot, Jamie, because you have been in the same apartment for over 10 years. You raised a family in that apartment. That's what you did. And the storage unit is not in your name. The storage unit is in somebody else's name. You can open up a storage unit in somebody else's name. Easily. That's not hard to do. And they can give you the keys to that storage unit. Not hard to do. You can't get a storage unit because you don't have proper paperwork. That's somebody else's in somebody else's name. Just like your sister, who did the whole thing with the whole vending thing, that's her vending license that you're allowed to go in there. You can't get one because you have to have a license to get one of them. Can you show me your license? Can you show me your license? I can show you mine. So you're using somebody else's information in order to do all this. And you know what? You got them in a lot of trouble. Because I hope they know that the storage unit that's under their name has that counterfeit material in it, and they're going to get blamed for that. They're the ones going to get hit with it too. So they're going to jail. Everything you touch, Jamie, everything you destroy. And the sad thing about this is, Jamie, your kids could inherit this debt. That's the sad thing about it. Because these big boy companies at the end of the day, they don't play around. And they're going to want their money. They're going to take it out of somebody at the end of the day. And they can't get you because you won't be here. And they can't get your wife because she won't be here. So who are they going to take it out on? Either your immediate family here, maybe. But most likely, it'll be the next of kin, which would be your kids. Great legacy you left for your kids. Fantastic job you left for your kids. So when you want to get on there and scream I'm racist at the end of the day, I'll come on here and yes, I'll sit there and say right from the door, if I was racist, Fernando, I have your entire family in a phone book. I have your whole family, all of them. If I was racist at the end of the day, I could easily point whatever I want in that direction with no problem. Your sister at the booth, that wouldn't be a hard one to get at the end of the day. She's right there with you with that nonsense at the end of the day. What did I say on the video when I was recording it? I said the sister at the end of the day is different. All her stuff is in boxes. All her stuff is legit. Did not say that. Now, a racist person doesn't say that. A person who's racist doesn't care whether your stuff is in the box at all, period. A person who's racist would have came back and said all these racist words against you and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Like you call me nigger. You know, that's, you're racist. So, at the end of the day, if I was racist, I basically would have sat there and said, oh, she's basically counterfeiting just like him. No, I didn't say that. I said on camera, see how her stuff is? Her stuff is legit. It's in the box. Hopefully, she didn't bring him in on her vending license because I don't want her vending license to get jacked up because you're a jerk at the end of the day. You screw your own family over. Like your family member who has the address 317 Kern Street. You basically use his address to commit crimes because that's where the lawyer sent the paperwork to. You were using his address the entire time to commit crimes. Jamie, you don't care about nobody else but you. That's why they nicknamed you Mexican Trump. All you care about is you. And the minute something comes up and it gets hot and heavy for you, you start screaming, going on the defensive, just like Trump. And you start blaming everybody else and playing the pity call. Oh, poor me, just like Trump. You're Trump. So you can post all you want that I'm supposed to be racist at the end of the day. Anybody else is a law-abiding citizen of American citizen at the end of the day would have never allowed you to get away. Should not have allowed. Some of these people I question on YouTube, I really do. Because you saw this going on. Not one person made a contact. You know where he lives at. Not one person reached out to any law enforcement officer because they're saying there's nobody there that made the call. We're the only ones. Interesting. Some of you have flags outside your house right now, right? You got flags outside your house, right? You got family members in the military who fight for this country, right? And yet you allow this guy to come in and steal from American companies. That's what you did, right? And you question whether or not you're worthy of that flag at the end of the day, because I don't think you are. You allowed that guy to come in here 2 months, 3 months and 4 months. He's been running that business. Not one person called it in. Well, that says a lot about you as an American. It's bad because he's not American, came in here and did that nonsense, and it's worse for you because you are American and you let it go. So think about that one. Next time you want to sit up on the 4th of July and salute the flag and say I'm American, you think about that one. You think about your family members that are overseas that are fighting for that flag so you can have that freedom, right? You think about what you let go on in your country. It's bad enough we got enough nonsense going on in this country. It really is. Do we even need this mess? No. For some of you other racist people, then they want to sit there and go, oh yeah, no, it ain't all Mexicans. It's that Mexican at the end of the day. It ain't all, it's that Mexican only. He does not need to be here. Anyone who wants to come here and commit crimes does not need to be here. Anybody else who's not committing crimes and minding their own freaking business and doing what they want to do, as in taking care of their family, they can stay here. I couldn't care less. Hope you get your citizenship. Hope you live a long life here. Hope you live the American dream. God bless. But anybody else in this country that's basically committing crimes against this country, you need to go. That's all to it. That's where Jamie wants to get everything all mixed up now, saying, oh yeah, he want all Mexicans out. Did I ever say that? I never said that, ever. I got Mexicans in my family. I got Mexican brothers at the end of the day. No, I don't want you here because you're a criminal. So you're going to tell me what we just saw on your YouTube channel is not committing a crime. All right, good. When those officers get to your front door, all those agencies pop up, you explain all that to them with the pictures we just sent to them, and if they don't arrest you whatsoever, then I'm that person at the end of the day. But I bet you $100, Jamie, that you're going to go to jail. I bet you. And I bet you that department's going to get shut down. I bet you. That residue is probably on everything in there. It's probably on the curtains and everything. He's printing that thing right next to them shades. She said right next to the window, right next. That's a fire hazard right there. You got all that stuff packed in that apartment, and you're running that equipment in there in that small unit. Doesn't make a difference if you open the door. You can open the door and fire off a spray can in the door. That residue goes everywhere and everywhere. Just like all magically blow out the door. You got to go to the doctor. You got to get checked out, man. You could have some damage to your body today. I know for a fact that I sat in the basement and I breathed in. I didn't even see it. It was in the air. I didn't see it. And I breathed in all this stuff. And it caused massive damage to my lungs. So, you might want to get checked out. Gee Louise. Unbelievable. I'm thinking it's one machine. It's multiple machines. Let me see. Zoning violation for running multiple printing. We gotta put this in here. 3D printers. Zoning violation for running multiple 3D printers out of your home. You can't even do it if you have a home. It's not gonna work. They violate. They'll be on top of you on that one. It's an apartment. Let's see. Zoning for multiple 3D printers running out of your apartment. You couldn't do that here in Allentown. Nope. You run multiple units in an apartment, you're in a lot of trouble. Zoning is going to be involved in this. We contact zoning next. Let's see, zoning for California. Let me see, Baldwin Park. Zoning for Baldwin Park, number please. Okay, I'll contact them tomorrow. Jamie, again, I'm explaining this to you. The reason why we're contacting them, oh, it's called code enforcement. Okay, they're already on their way. So it's already taken care of. That's already ready to go. The reason why this is being taken care of, Jamie, because I'm not going to have that blood on my hands at the end of the day. It ain't about hating you at the end of the day, Jamie. If I hated you, like I said, that's an easy at the end of the day. I don't hate you. You do some dumb stuff, man. You do. That's the part you're saying. You do really dumb stuff. You touch my copyrights. That's what I got to do. I got to contact the people that take care of that. That's what I had to do. Got to bring a process server to beat on your door. Because, again, you can touch things that don't belong to you, right? All right. Now, you went out and you ripped off a whole bunch of companies, right? You've stored a lot of their licensed materials in storage units, which is against the law by storage units. You can't do that. Hopefully you don't got any chemicals in there, too. Because, again, that could cause some problems for other people's stuff in there. Because other people have their valuables in that unit, and if you store something there that could be hazardous, flammable, whatever, you could cause damage to other people's stuff. But you don't think about that. It's only Jamie. You're running all those machines, and you're not only just pumping out, like, one item here and one item there. You're pumping out, you said, what, 1,000? 1,000 of those Jason masks? So that means every time you printed out one of those masks, you ripped off that company. You owe them. Did you pay him any of the money? Nothing at all. You pocketed it all for yourself, right? That's what you did. All right. And with that being said, printing out that machine, seeing that much material left over, that means that's a lot of chemicals that actually seeped in that environment, and you basically could have, who knows, maybe people, they shut down that particular part of your unit, they're going to advise those people to go to the hospital, because they may have to go to the hospital. Who knows what they could have breathed in. And your family member's going to be advised to go to the hospital. They got to take your pets from you too, because that's animal cruelty. And take your pets, going to take them to a vet, get them checked out, all that stuff, and put them in a shelter. She's not going to be allowed back in the unit. They're not going to be allowed back in the unit. They're going to shut it down. All your stuff's going to be in there. And the police are going to come and they're going to take all your stuff out of there as evidence. They're going to box everything up, take it out with them. Now, if you decide that you're going to get somebody to come by and grab all your stuff and everything and try to hide everything because you do sneaky stuff like that, doesn't make a difference. We got pictures, everything's documented, everything's recorded. You're screwed either way. Because even if it's not there, they have it there showing that you were doing it and you had it. So there's no way to get around that one. And then the fact that you're undocumented, the minute they arrest you, they're going to figure it out and they're going to find out. They got to call ICE. They got to come down and pick you up, and they're not too far to find in that area. So then what? Either way you're going. So you were at your welcome. That's what you did. You can call me racist all you want. Doesn't make a difference. I'm going to do what I got to do for the flag. I'm going to do what I'm going to do for this country today. And I believe you don't belong here because you're a criminal. Now, if you feel you're not a criminal today, Jamie, you really feel you're not a criminal, this is what you do. Get a camera, and we all want to see it. Go live. Go down to the police station at Baldwin Park. And I want you to explain to them everything you just did. Go ahead. Go do it. And then I want you to go down to, if you can make it out of there, they'll lock you up. And then, if you want to do even better, go down to the code enforcement officer over there, enforcement, and tell them that you've been running a 3D printing business out of your apartment, and you have been copying licensed materials, tell the police that same thing, and selling this stuff at Comic-Con, inviting people to come down and buy this. And you have pictures of customers and showing the money you were making. How about that? How do you think that's going to turn out? It's going to turn out well, right? You can go to jail for that, right? So you wouldn't dare walk in there, would you? Of course you would. Go up to City Hall. Explain to them at the end of the day, hey, I run the business in Baldwin Park, and I don't have a license to run the business in any way whatsoever, but I'm running an industrial business out of an apartment. Go to sanitation and tell them at the end of the day, hey, the waste that I use for basically that I accumulated for printing out these 3D objects in my apartment, I'm just throwing it in the trash. That's what I've been doing. What do you think will happen, Jamie? And any one of those people you talk, what do you think will happen? And if you said at the end of the day that you have paperwork and you're legit, right? Then you wouldn't mind calling an ICE agent, would you? Of course you can. Because all those things, Jamie, I just mentioned, you can't do. And the reason why you can't do it, because you broke the law. If you thought you didn't break the law, Jamie, how come when the process server got there, you didn't go to the door and get the you said you have permission from me, right? And you said you didn't break any laws, right? Then why didn't you go and get that piece of paper that they put on your door? How come you sent your wife to go do it? Because you knew you were guilty and you didn't want them to snatch you out of the house and arrest you. That's what you were afraid of, right? All right, then. Then that means everything we said was true about you 100%. And if everything about you is true 100%, then it's my job to go and contact local authorities to get this taken care of. Because I'm not going to allow you to continue to rip off Americans. I'm not going to allow you to continue to steal from companies, especially Stan Lee. I'm not going to allow you to come in and do whatever the freak you want to do at the end of the day. Especially when that business in there that could be a harm for other people in that building. Because I'm pretty sure there's kids in that building. All right then, well, glad we had this talk. Now, you can put on racist as much as you want up there, Jamie. As much as you want. Because you know why? It doesn't bother me, Jamie. It doesn't bother me at all, period. You're scared. And that's the only way you have. You think at the end of the day that this is going to damage me. It's not going to damage me at the end of the day. It's not going to do anything to me at all. Contracts are contracts. Money will still be made for my company. Our technology is going to advance as it's designed to do. You follow Satan, and this is what happened to you. I told you and I warned you, didn't I? I told you from day one to stop following the demon. I told you that. Did you listen? Nope. No. Fernando, as I said before, he's going to disappear off his channel. His channel's gone. When he's gone, they're going to go contact YouTube. YouTube's going to shut it down. The other social media sites you'll be on, when you're over there, don't carry the same mentality over there. This is when things are going to get real. Very, 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 very real. There's no trace of you ever being over. There's going to be no record of you ever being over there. You disappear, you disappear. So hopefully, you can survive when you're about to go to. And you know, you sat there and you put down blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. You are really going to have to call on God in the situation you will be at. If you choose to follow that demon after he just put you through all this, you will not make it. I guarantee you, he'll finish the job. He'll get rid of you. And then you'll be in the next life, Jamie. You can't do anything at all. I told you at the end of the day that the crossroads you're going to have to cross is going to be a very interesting but very difficult one at the end of the day. Now, can Fernando be saved in all of this? Yeah, he can be. God can save him. But he chooses not to. Because he's got that Pharaoh complex. You know what happened to Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh refused to give up. He did. He just kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and him and his army got crushed by an ocean. Imagine if Pharaoh just decided to let the children of Israel go. First time when Moses walked in there and dropped that staff and ate both of them snakes up. He had two wizards that came in there. They're black magic. And he dropped that staff, and that staff ate both of the snakes. And he said, you know what? Okay, that's it for me. I'm good. Take your people and go. Imagine how easy his life would have been. People wouldn't have to suffer. It would be raining locusts, and it would be raining frogs, and fire wouldn't have come from heaven. His firstborn wouldn't have died. And he wouldn't have been killed. See, Jamie, what the problem with you, what makes you, while the devil's going to, hopefully he doesn't collect on you, is the fact that you're full of this hatred at the end of the day. This real bitter hatred. And you figure that if you rob a bank, and if someone reports you and said, hey, I saw the guy who did it, rob the bank, killed two tellers, is that person wrong for basically contacting the police for what you did? No, he's not. Because he saw something that you should have did. You're the one who did something wrong. You're the one that went in and killed 2 people to rob a bank. That makes you the wrong person at the end of the day. And instead of you acknowledging that and saying, okay, I messed up, it's my fault, I need to fix myself, you continue to lash out at the witness who basically, all he did his job was just go in and just report what you did. But now you want to kill him. Because you feel he shouldn't have told. Because you should be allowed to walk into a building and take someone's life at the end of the day and walk off with money. And because that person went in and stood up and tried to help these people out, you feel he should die too. That's the type of person you are. And that's why I tell you, those type of people, they end up dying. Because the devil collects on them. Till you realize your mistakes, you're going to suffer a lot. A lot. You're going to suffer a great deal. Some people see it, and they're able to back out of it and go, you know what? I had enough. I'm done. I get out of here. I'm never getting in trouble again. I'm just going to disappear out there and live in my own little world and be left alone. Those people learn. But you got others that don't learn, and those are the ones that do die. Or they don't. They learn a very, very painful lesson in life. And you're about to have a very painful lesson in life. Yep. Painful lesson in life, Jamie. Yes, you will. So, it's going to start pretty soon. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You can pray about it. It's going to happen. You got to hit that crossroad. You're going to go through it. That's what's going to happen to you. I learned mine early. All the destruction and chaos I called, Jamie, I learned mine when I was sitting in that prison cell. That reality kicked in real quick for me. Wasn't out there riding my bike and hanging out with my buddies at the corner. I was sitting in a prison cell. 4 walls. Can't go anywhere. The reality that I'm stuck here, that I can't go out, I can't walk. I'm watching officers walk by and talk and chat, talk about going home to their families and stuff, and I'm stuck here. Can't go anywhere. Watch your mother come in and hand me a Bible, and she left. She prayed over me. She said everything will be okay, and she left. I couldn't go with her. I couldn't. I can sit there and count like, man, at 8 o'clock they're doing this, and at 5 o'clock they're doing this, and at 4 o'clock they're doing this, and I'm here. Now, can Jamie be saved? Yeah, he can be. I'm living proof of it. I'm talking to a person at the end of the day who's going to have a 40 to 80-year prison sentence at 16 years old. And here I am drinking some orange juice while I'm having a conversation while I'm looking at a computer monitor. I was supposed to never be out. I was supposed to die in prison. That's what the term was. I was supposed to die in prison. And I'm right here. Because I put my trust in God and I stopped following that demon. The demon was trying to kill me. So Jamie, you better wake up. You better wake up. Because when you reach over there, you're going to need God more than ever. I pray, I thank the Lord that I was in American prison. Yeah, I couldn't imagine that. You want to have your rights, trust me. You definitely want to have your rights. You definitely want to have your rights. Definitely want to have your rights. Definitely. But I couldn't imagine being in a system you have no rights at all. I couldn't imagine that. And at least at the end of the day, they knew where I was at. That's another thing that freaked me out. That being in that place that, you know, maybe they forgot about me. Maybe they don't know I'm in here anymore. Maybe I want to die in here at the end of the day and no one's going to know where I'm going to be at. No one's going to know where my body's going to be at, stuff like that. And that stuff freaks you out. But the difference is where you're going at the end of the day, no one's going to know. And your wife at the end of the day, you didn't think about that one, did you? Before you start all this nonsense at the end of the day. She's in that apartment. There's no way in the world possible she could have known what was going on in that apartment now. So she's going to be in trouble now. There's just no way in the world she could have known. How would you not know that? Your apartment isn't gigantic. It ain't like you got a third wing in there somewhere. Like, oh, shoot, got a third wing. He's running the third wing. He had no idea it was running in there. That's an easy explain. That's a big place in the day. I had no idea it was running. You could have a shack on 200 acres. No one would know you were out there doing anything out there. No one would know. But you're in a small apartment. How could she not see all that stuff being printed out? Storage unit belongs to your sister, doesn't it? I bet you it does. She made a big mistake messing around with you, Fernando. She really did. She made a big, big mistake. Now you go ahead, you rant, carry on. You scream races all you want. And I'm going to get up tomorrow morning. I'm going to call the best of these agencies. Everything I found on your site, the new stuff. Machines running in your apartment, all that stuff. I got to call fire. What's the call for basically building code for fire? I got to reach out to them. I got to reach out to zoning. Because apparently they're running a printing factory in an apartment with multiple machines. You're going to kill somebody. And then I'm tired of having this conversation over you. You're a thick-headed human being, you don't learn. I'm going to give you a fair warning, Fernando. When you get over there, that thick-head mentality you got, it'll get you hurt. Whatever they tell you to do, you better do it. When they tell you to do it, how they tell you to do it, what, you better do it. It won't hurt you. We got beatings that happen here in American prisons all the time. Guards to beat inmates all the time. If they don't get caught, they can get away with it. If they do get caught, they can lose their jobs. But up there, no one's losing any jobs. I almost forgot about that too. I also know about your activity, Jamie. I know everything is that you do, Jamie. Everything that you try to do against me, I know it. People you try to contact down here in Allentown, try to make my life rough from here, I know everything you did. I have a track record on everything you do. Nothing goes off your phone or your computer at the end of the day that I don't know about. You know what I do. I don't explain too much about what I do. I was using machines at the day. These toys I have at the end of the day, you don't have no idea what operates at the home front. Nothing comes off your system without me knowing it. I know about all your activity. Any branch, any person you call, any person you contact, I know about it from the door. I can shut it down if I want. That's not what I'm supposed to do. I monitor. I gather information. Things that I can use against you to prosecute you in court. And you make it super easy for me to gather as much as I possibly can. So when I got off camera, I documented so much about you, it's not even funny. I talked about the machines you operate. I researched the machines. I know the flaws. Too much candy, so I know the flaws. I know about basically how you have to have certain outlets to plug those things into. You can overload those outlets running those machines. You easily cause fires. And dating back on how old your building is and the last time they had a fire inspection. Running an air conditioner unit in there, microwave oven in there, and those machines at the same time, with all those electrical opponents. You know, the fire in there, easily. Any one of those wires overheat, poof, just like that. That place will burn to the ground. Now, all that time you thought you were sending out stuff in the day and we don't know about it. How do you think we gather all this stuff on you? Remember I told you that the machines and all these computers and stuff, you never know how deep the rabbit hole goes? Well, since I'm never going to see you ever again, I'm not going to tell you too much about my past and my life at the end of the day, but all you need to know is I've been monitoring you. Well, with that being said, Fernando, Soon, I will never see you ever again. Nowhere anybody will see you ever again. But I don't wish anything bad on you. I hope you find God in this situation. You get yourself together and you find God, this would make you an incredible warrior of God. It would. Not that fake stuff you bring down, that God bless stuff. Not that stuff you're not a man of God. But if you get your life together in this and you really, really turn it around and find God, you could use this to save other people. And God could make it so that you come back here to the States. Get your citizenship, all that. Can you imagine that? Jamie goes over there and spends time in that third world country over there. He finds God over there, gets his life together. God blesses him to come back here and preach his life and what he went through and what he did following Satan. That'd be a heck of a story right there at the end of the day. To watch a man go that far down the rabbit hole, down that dark corridor with Satan, and then come back up and basically be a man of God. A changed man. And then I can welcome you as my brother. I wouldn't hate you at all, period. I would welcome you as my brother. Do I hate the guy who snitched on me? No, I don't hate him. Did me a favor. If he didn't, who knows what kind of stuff I would have gotten myself, and I might have killed a few people in the process. But I'm so happy that it all happened that way. When the police came to lock me up, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I was free. I was free from living the life I was living. Finally, someone caught me. Finally, I can get some help. And through all that, I found God. And now, I'm here. So, it's a possibility, yeah. Jamie could be saved, find God, come back here. Who knows? He may open up a church. He might become a preacher. Who knows? I knew people at the end of the day that I thought at the end of the day 2 things would happen: jail or death. Find out I go back to neighbor, like, oh, he's a what? Really? You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, there was a guy a long time ago, roughly 16, 17, way older than me when I was a kid. And man, every time you turn around, cops were at the house, cops out, cops out, cops out, got locked up, got back out, locked up, got back out. He was just nothing but trouble. And everybody in the neighborhood said, man, that guy at the end of the day, man, 2 things gonna happen to him: jail or death. He became a preacher. I don't know what happened. I don't know what crossroad hit him at the end of the day. Whatever happened, he chose to cross. Usually, sometimes in a really bad situation, people choose that cross. Because there's nothing left. And sometimes that's how God has to change people at the end of the day. He has to take everything from you. And when he takes everything from you, and there is nothing left, or you're in the deepest, darkest, you say pit you could ever think of, and there's nothing else there, there's nothing there, you have to call on him. Because that's the only way he can get you to listen. You don't listen. We're hard-headed people. We don't listen. And when he's in the darkest of darkest, and he calls on God, God will come forth. God will help him. But the devil will also be there too, also. Trying to discourage you. Trying to make you think you're the tough man. You better be as humble can be. Because you see that showboat you did when you was walking through to go to the storage unit. You're laughing and joking about the things you're going to pick up my stuff that I just printed. That's the devil talking to you. That's Satan. Open it up, showing all the stuff around. I got this and that right there. That's Satan. Recording yourself doing the whole thing. Because you knew it was going to catch you. That stuff was going to catch you. You're over there. Find God. You have plenty of opportunities to find him over here. You didn't choose to. Rough situation, man. Rough situation. But at least try to find God in it. If you don't, I'm tell you, Satan's gonna finish you. Yeah. Do I wish he dies over there? Yeah. Hope he finds God. Hope the Lord blesses him to come back. You'll be your family, everything. God can do all that. Did it for me. They might come back, get themselves a church. So all you want to do is God's work. Set up, start preaching about the Lord. Talk about everything you went through. My problem at the end of the day is my pride. I have pride. Dangerous, very dangerous, I have pride. I listen to scripture in the Bible about pride. Very dangerous. They will have pride. In the Bible about Lucifer being God's favorite angel. Very beautiful, beautiful angel. Extremely beautiful. Came full of pride and jealousy. He wanted more. That's why you have to be dangerous about wanting more. Wanting more is dangerous. Sometimes you have to be happy with what you have. You're still blessed at the end of the day. When you start getting in, you start questioning God about how come you don't have more, this is where it becomes dangerous. My arrogance at the end of the day is thinking at the end of the day, I know my technology is good. It's very good. I know. I've tested just about everything I can get my hands on. I'm a personal challenge. I have to know. It isn't one thing to say it. I have to know it. Because it's not enough for me. But sometimes I can see it come out of me, that arrogance. I can see that challenge, destroy, conquer, all that stuff. I can hear it. That's the devil speaking through me. I can slow things down. Sometimes the Lord will strike my heart. You hear me stop talking for a little bit? That's the Lord dealing with me. My heart hurts. The pain, I have the pain in my heart that goes off. I'm doing too much. I'm always saying back it down if you're pushing too far. Keep it humble. That's why the change. Sometimes I can't breathe when it happens. The Lord scolding me, chastising me, back it down. The devil's coming up. The devil's starting to play through you. So I have to keep it humble. That's why you see me delete videos. I don't delete videos because I've got to hide. I delete videos because I don't like how I sound in the video. I can hear Satan in the video. I can hear the devil speaking through me. Gotta be careful. So, Jamie may find God. Hopefully he does. It ought to be amazing. He starts a church and he tells people about his story. It'll be amazing. Everything that he went through, and God brought him out of that pit. Because he can bring you out of that pit, Jamie, easily. But you keep following the devil like that, and the devil will collect on you. Now, it talks about in the Bible about how Lucifer was so beautiful. Can you imagine how hideous God must have made him look? Do you want to see that? Pretty sure you don't want. Nobody wants to see that. But that's what you invite in. You bring it to your home. That's what Jamie invited in his home. And look what he did to him. If I turn a blind eye to this, Jamie, and I let this go, I allow the devil to continue on. And I can't do that. That's why I said, it has nothing to do with hating you. I don't have any hatred toward you at all. I can't have hatred toward you. It violates my relationship with God. If I have hatred to you, that means I let Satan in. And I've done that one already. That's what got me almost 40 years and 80 years in jail. Because I let the devil take over and I became full of hatred. And I hated everything around me. I hated myself, I hated people around me, and I became suicidal because the devil can go in there and play games with me because he can fill me full of hate. I don't bother with hatred anymore. It's too dangerous. So when I get upset and I get angry, I give it to God. That's what keeps me level. That's what keeps me out of trouble. You don't. You drink it down. You bathe in it. You saturate yourself with hatred. And nobody gets you. The devil will come in and give you more and more ideas, and those more and more ideas will lead you to darker and deeper paths at the end of the day. And one of these paths one day will come with a dead end. You don't want that. You have to face your path. You have to face what's coming. You have to face destiny. It's meant to be. Your crossroad is coming. There's no way to get around those things. If it was meant for you not to be saved, And God will turn his back and Satan will rip you to shreds. You'll be gone by now. This might be an opportunity for you to become a very, very amazing Christian warrior. Yeah, it's scary. It's going to be very scary. There are times it's going to be very, very scary, but this is how you test through trials and tribulations you have to go through. There are days you're going to feel that God is not there for you anymore. That he's turned his back on you, but he's not. This is your crossroad, Jamie. It's coming. You have to take it. There's no way around it. If you choose not to take it, the devil will take you. I had a lot of respect for that guy who snitched on me. Other side, the family could have squashed him quick. And then we lived that, and his family lived that, everything. Could easily come in and said, hey, we need to, I got a guy got me. At the end of the day, I need to take him care of. It'd have been taken care of. But I didn't take care of it. I didn't. Because the situation I was sitting in, I was like, look at this mess, man. Following that demon, this is what I got myself into. Look at the mess I'm in right now. Couldn't care less about him. I'm looking at the mess I'm in right now. I had to realize that that demon got me in all this jacked up trouble from the door. And I listened to him. I listened to everything he freaking told me. And now look where I'm at right now. I got no one to blame but myself. And that's the first step that I made in the right direction. I didn't blame him. I didn't blame society. I didn't say because I'm a black man at the end of the day and I live in a rural, violent neighborhood, it's my fault. I blame myself because I had opportunities I could have got out of the situation and I didn't take them. God talked to me multiple times, pointed me in different directions, and I didn't listen. I wanted to be big bad, I wanted to be tough, I wanted to be this, that, and the other, and look where it got me. Threw my whole life away. Doing dumb stuff. Could have been doing something else. Nope, I'm here. Now I got the opportunity to be out, to be free and everything. I talk about God. We're going to have to go through something, man. Everybody does. Everybody reaches that crossroad. Just because you're a Christian at the day doesn't mean the devil leaves you alone. All right, well, I'm leaving out. I got things to do. Got to be back in here tomorrow, and I got to do what has to be done. It has to be done, Jamie. It has to be done. The building you're living in right now is hazardous, man. The chemicals that the machines are pumping out right now, what you're doing, is very dangerous. And you got other people lives in that building with you. You don't think about any of that or whatsoever. What about the people over top of you or people underneath you? You got people underneath you. What about them? What happens to them if they get sick? You know how hard it is to get respiratory issues? You know how jacked up that stuff is at the end of the day? Now, you will be living with that for years. They scar their lungs up with that stuff, and they'll be living with that for years. They'll be going through breathing issues for years. You know how horrible that is when you feel like you can't breathe? When you're gasping for air, and you're trying to breathe and you can't breathe, and then the psychological damage that comes in there. When you think you're having an attack, but you're not really having an attack. It's all in your head. It's even worse than actually having. You know how much that messes up a person's life? You know that when it's cold outside, it affects you. When it's foggy outside, it affects you. If it's too hot outside, it affects you. You can't have certain foods because that affects you. Eat a lot of cheese, eat a lot of dairy, it builds up heavy mucus in your chest. These big blocks that build up, which makes it hard for you to breathe. And in the process of feeling like you're breathing through a straw. And you want to give that to other people in the building because you want to get greedy and make money? None of your own family and you yourself, plus your pets. I would never have him in that environment, ever. Any place I worked at, he was not allowed in that environment. At all, period. In the garage, I had an outside backyard. I sprayed it. Nowhere near him. In the apartment, didn't do any spraying in the apartment. I had a place I can go to do spraying at. Nothing around him. When I had the house in Haventown, that's where I got him from. He was in the basement. And the basement door had flaps on it. It was sealed, so when I shut it, everything's sealed behind me. I had the front door open up that I couldn't put a fan in there. I built a system with 2 fans can lock in, and I can push all that out. Or if I wanted to, I would spray outside, which I did a lot of my demonstrations, sprayed outside. But nothing near him at all, period. And you are operating that stuff around those animals in there. That saturates in their fur and skin, all that. And there was a Taco Bear. You only care about yourself, that's all. And Jamie, you got to get out of that. But that's how Satan is. Satan only cares about himself. All right, well, I got to get back to this. Well, I'm not done here. Look at these 3D applications. I got this whole Connect system coming tomorrow. The Connect system, and the and AI technology. I downloaded some. I paid for some AI tech. I finally did it. I paid for AI technology. I finally did it. It's weird, but it's interesting. But I need it for something else. I'm designing a 6-dimensional screen. Well, the AI, the connects, and a button of coding software. And if I pull it off, there's going to be something freaking cool. Well, I do wish you the best of luck. And you may hate me at the end of the day for what I'm doing, but it's for your own good. It's for your own good. It is. Trust me, it's for your own good. You can't do what you're doing, man. You can't. It's against the law. You can't do this. It's the same thing if the person who, when he snitched on me, which, you know, he sat there and said, hey, you can't go around doing this kind of stuff. It's wrong. It's against the law. He's right. He's 100% right on it. It is against the law what I did. And I deserved everything I got. The time I spent there, I deserved every bit of it. I blame no one else but me. And you lashing out at me, calling me racist and saying I hate Mexicans, what are you mad at me for? It had to be done, man. Either way, it was going to happen. State ICE was never contacted. So we found out about that counterfeiting ring you got running right now. We contact code enforcement because they have to come in, and we contact local police in your area, right? They come down to your unit. What's going to happen to you? Get arrested, right? They put you into a holding cell. They have to run a background check on you. Everybody knows about background checks. They have to run them automatically. And they find out you don't have paperwork. So who do they contact? They have to contact ICE. Either way, you're going to go. Unfortunately for you, when I had to contact ICE, we were trying to figure out whether or not you were documented or not. Because the police can't tell us this, no one can tell us this. But you already told me at the end of the day. And what I had to file through ICE was a special unit for people who commit crimes. That's why in the list we have here shows the different crimes we have to select which one. And when I fill these out, Fernando, I can't make things up like you do. You can make stuff up. I can't make stuff up on there. You know what happens? I go to jail. If I make up anything on that form that's not true, I will go to jail. I have to leave all my information, everything. I leave my information, FBI, everyone I talk to has all my information, my name, everything, address, everything. I have everything. Everything. So if they reach out to me, they can contact me. Unlike you, you don't do that. Fake names, false addresses, fake accounts, fake phone numbers, all that stuff. Because then what you're doing is wrong. You know it. The form right there. That's what's on the form we got to fill out. So in that form, I have to check off the right one. If I check off any one of these that are considered wrong, I can get in a lot of trouble. Say if I check that one off for child exploitation and pornography, this can get your door taken down. And I would think at the end of the day, this would cause you a lot of trouble at the end of the day. If I felt that all of these at the end of the day, this would bring you a ton of trouble, right? This would send me to jail. Because I lied on a government document. You know about government documents, how you don't lie on these things? Yeah, you lied on one. So this will bring me a lot of trouble. So I must be correct when I do one of these. So you did cyber crimes against me, right? So we called in about the what you call for the trademark infringement. I had to contact somebody down there. They would make sure to make a mistake and fill these out by mistake and get hit with something. So I said, hey, which one of these do I go with? Because there's nothing on here that says anything about trade infringements and a 3D printer and counterfeiting. So I don't know why it's not on there, but it doesn't say it on there. And the woman said, well, just go with trade import violation. And that's what I had to put on there. Trade import violation for your second one. But Jamie, that's designed that way so people that may not like you because of your skin color and who you are can't go in and put a false claim against you because they have to fill those forms out themselves. When you contact the FBI, the machine comes on, asks for your name, asks for your address, asks for the 4 digits of your social security number, and asks for all that stuff. And then you're attached to a operator or an agent. And the agent will repeat the same thing that you said on the machine back to them. You already know who you are anyway. So you have to be to the truth. So can't do any of that stuff like that. Now, you go do what you have to do. You go spread your hates and lies that you do. You follow Satan. But you're going to hit the crossroad. You're going to no way around it. You're going to keep continue to play that game. Things are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse for you. The devil's digging a hole for you. You and the devil are sitting in that hole, and you're both digging that hole. Only problem is he's coming out of it. You're not. And he's going to throw dirt on it while he's leaving out. And you can't leave. All right, people. I got to go. I got things I got to do. I'm going to toy around with this screen for a little bit, and I'm going to basically build me another one. I got things to do. I got to go.